Hey, sixth period. Okay, so I made this video because I want to kind of fix something we talked about in class where we weren't interpreting a problem the way it needs to be interpreted. Okay, so I'm on page 65 in the binder. If you need to pause to get there, go ahead. And we, 65, we filled out the table, we did B and C correctly. Part D is where we need to start, we need to actually interpret it a little bit differently than we did in class, okay? So in class, we focused on how it said percent of those surveyed, okay? And so we said, oh, this must be out of 600, okay? But what we really need to do is focus on where it says given that the student is a sophomore, okay? The given part is the most important. That like overrides the rest of the problem. So when it says given the student is a sophomore, what it means is that we are looking at the sophomore row in the data. And we're only focusing in on that row. So it says what percent of those students surveyed prefers a PC given that they're a sophomore. Means I'm looking at the sophomores that prefer PC, so that's 150, out of how many sophomores total? 250, okay? And so that's going to give me, when you calculate that out, 60%. Same thing with E. Again, that keyword now is going to be the given part. So we look at E, what percent of those selected surveyed from the survey is a freshman, given that the student prefers a Mac. So now, again, we're looking at the given part. Given they prefer a Mac, that means I need to look in the Mac column of the table. So I go to that Mac column and I focus in on that. What percent is a freshman given that they prefer a Mac? So now I go to the Mac column, I say, all right, who are the freshmen? There are 200. Out of the total that prefer a Mac, which is 300, which gives me an answer of 67%, if we round up, 66.6. Okay, and then at the bottom here is just kind of sneaking in on my screen, but at the bottom it says, given that the student was a sophomore, okay, given that the student was a sophomore, I think I can move it, there we go. What is the conditional relative frequency that they prefer to Mac? We did this one correctly in class. Okay, given that they're a sophomore, so we're going back to, I guess I should do it in red. We're looking at the sophomore row. Given that they're sophomore, what is the conditional relative frequency that they prefer to Mac? So that's basically just saying out of all the 250 sophomores, the ones that prefer to Mac were 100, and that's going to give me 40%. Okay. Quickly, let's take a look at the next page also. So problem 3, which you guys were working on when your teams, all right, what percent of those surveyed is a sophomore? That's part A. It doesn't have any given, so we're looking at the total now. So I go to sophomores. The total sophomore is 120. Out of the total of everybody is 220. Okay. And that'll give me a total of 55%. So then part B, we do have a given. Given that their favorite drink is water. That tells me to look at the water section, which is a column. So I look at the water column. And it says what percent of those surveyed is a sophomore, given that their favorite drink is water. So I find the sophomore number, so it's 54 out of 99, which is same thing, 55%. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about C in class, but again, let's look at D real quick. Given that the student prefers pop, all right, so that means we're looking in the pop section. The given always tells you what section, what column or row to look at. So given that they prefer pop, what is the conditional relative frequency that they are a freshman? So who are the freshmen? There's 30 of them out of the total 66 that prefer pop. And so give that a quick little calculation. 30 out of 66 is going to be 45%. Okay. Thanks for watching. We'll talk more in class tomorrow. Bye.